Live from WHO TV 13, your 24-hour news source. This is Newscenter 13 at noon.
Officials on Des Moines' east side are concerned after reports of small explosions this morning. They weren't sure what caused them.
But our top story, the Oklahoma City bombing. The Senate this morning observing a moment of silence and mourning with the nation. Good afternoon. Exactly 1 year ago, a huge bomb was set off in front of the federal building.
168 people died, hundreds more were injured, and the community was devastated. Doug Aronson is live in Oklahoma City, where people are remembering.
It is a somber and spiritual day here in Oklahoma City, where thousands are trying to heal the emotional wounds from the worst terrorist attack on U.S. soil. It happened a year ago today at 9:02 a.m. Central Time. In a time to pause for 168 seconds of silence.
Lest we forget. Lest we forget.
Alexander.
And the names of each victim read aloud.
Ted. Ellen.
These were private moments for the surviving families. Many placed flowers, teddy bears, and love notes on the site where the federal building stood. There is a strong sense of patriotism here, where people of many faiths will come together in prayer for the victims of the Oklahoma City bombing. And you are looking live now at the memorial going on at the Convention Center, where moments ago, Vice President Al Gore reminded mourners that terror will not triumph. That's the latest from Oklahoma City. I'm Doug Aronson. Now, back to you.
Okay, thanks, Doug. During the moment of silence in Oklahoma City, memorial services took place here in central Iowa.
One at the federal building downtown, the other at the VA hospital. Last year, federal employees planted a tree at the VA hospital to remember the 186 people killed. Today, about 100 people came as they laid a wreath at the tree and dedicated it in remembrance of the victims. And two young children held hands as they carried small bouquets of flowers and laid them at a marker in front of the federal building downtown. Dozens of people attended the emotional service. Newscenter 13 will provide Central Iowans with complete coverage of the day's events in Oklahoma. Reporter Phil Scott and photographer John Williams are there. Today at 5, 6, and 10, they'll have the stories of Central Iowans closely affected by the bombing.
Just about 2 hours ago on Des Moines' east side, police evacuated an apartment building after people reported hearing a small explosion. Our Jim Hibbs is live with the latest information now. Jim?
Well, Lori, let me give you the latest. The fire department is now leaving the scene here. The Department of Division of Narcotics Enforcement has been inside to check out the apartment, and they apparently didn't find anything that would cause the type of activity that we've had here today, a smell. The fire department is leaving. Let's take a look at a map. We'll show you exactly where we are on just south of I-235, right off of East 14th on 1415 Des Moines Street is the location. The fire department was called here, as you mentioned, about 2 hours ago to check out a possible smell and odor. They thought it might be some type of drug lab. Joining me now is Matt Woody with the Des Moines Hazmat crews. Matt, tell us exactly what we've had happen here this morning.
Well, this began with reports from several of the occupants of 2 to 3 explosions in the building, followed by a strong chemical odor. The strong chemical odor created some rather extreme symptoms in the maintenance man, who was taken to the hospital. Upon our arrival at the building at the west end, the chemical odor was very, very evident. It has since dissipated. The state DCI drug lab team entered the apartment. We suspected the drug lab, found nothing, found no possible source for the odor. No unusual containers, so at this point, we're not certain what the residents here experienced.
Okay, is there any possibility that something may have been dumped down a toilet or anything like that? Where does the investigation go from here?
Well, we did do some checking of drains for that very thing, and we're able to turn up nothing. Occupants have been instructed that if they encounter the odor again, we would really like to know. We'll certainly be back. At this point, we have no possible explanation for what went on here.
Okay, thanks a lot, Matt Woody with the Des Moines Hazmat. That's the situation. One man was sent to the hospital, but fire crews and narcotics officers couldn't find anything, a reason for that smell. We'll update you on the Live at 5 and Newscenter 13 at 6. For now, along with photographer Mike Borland, I'm Jim Hibbs. We're live in Des Moines.
All right, thank you very much, Jim. Well, this is turning out to be a very busy day for authorities.
3 search warrants served and at least 1 meth lab has been busted in Polk County. Let's go to Northwest 54th Street, where the latest search warrant was served. Polk County Sheriff's Detective Neil Schultz says this garage is a suspected meth lab. No arrests have been made yet, but Schultz says in 2 other warrants served, they did find meth and equipment. So look for an update on this story later today on your 24-hour news source. If you sell or use methamphetamine and get caught, you'll face tougher penalties in Iowa.
The legislature has approved a bill that hands out a 10-year sentence and a $50,000 fine. Governor Branstad asked for the increased penalties, and it's expected to sign it into law. It's called the Gerson therapy, and promoters claim it heals incurable diseases, including cancer. Since Gerson promoters will be in Des Moines selling their cancer cure this weekend, Special Assignment reporter Therese Thompson decided to investigate.
My father, Dr. Max Gerson, developed the Gerson...
Charlotte Gerson runs the Gerson Institute, selling her healing method to people looking for a miracle. How is it done? The American Cancer Society investigated the Gerson therapy and released this document. They found the therapy to be a strict diet of very specifically grown and prepared fruit juices. You make and drink them every hour. No making them ahead of time and putting them in the refrigerator. You must make it fresh each hour. There's also very specifically prepared vegetarian meals. And finally, detoxifying the body with a daily schedule of 5 coffee enemas. We asked a Des Moines doctor and the American Cancer Society for opinions.
That's feelings, not documented evidence. Feelings of a single physician who practiced medicine many years ago.
Will you call this garbage?
It would fall under the category of quackery.
It's not really our business to tell people what to do or tell people exactly what is bad and what's not. We just give them the information we have on a particular treatment. This one, we can tell you what the treatment involves, and we can tell you that we have no evidence that it works.
Promoters of the Gerson therapy say that you'll learn about hundreds of patients who were cured of cancer after being sent home to die. Well, we got on the phone, and so did the American Cancer Society, to try to find one. And we learned a lot of records were lost in a fire. This Saturday, the Gerson Institute is holding a seminar at this Des Moines motel. You pay up front to find out how it works.
Whatever you do that makes you feel good is fine. Just don't hurt yourself.
That takes us back to the American Cancer Society document, which lists 2 deaths due to fluid and electrolyte imbalance caused by coffee enemas. But Charlotte Gerson touts hundreds of success stories. So call it cure or quackery. It's not illegal. So the Gerson gamble is yours to take. Therese Thompson, Newscenter 13.
The Iowa Attorney General's office has looked into this, and it's not illegal, although they generally warn people to steer clear of events like this.
Certainly feels like rain outside, and Lord knows we could use it.
Yes, let's get to meteorologist Kathy Ellis now in the Weather Center. Kathy.
We can still use the rain here in Iowa. There is a chance we will see more of that through the afternoon hours. A few rain showers across northern and eastern portions of the state at this lunch hour from about Spencer to Mason City through Waterloo and into Cedar Rapids. There are a few light showers. Just very light rain showers here. For the first forecast the rest of this afternoon, we will see scattered showers and thunderstorms developing, possibly a few strong storms, a high temperature around 75 degrees. I'll talk more about that possibility for strong storms coming up in just a minute.
Thanks, Kathy.
His coaches say he would have been drafted into the NFL this weekend.
Instead, Brook Berringer died in his prime. Up next on the news at noon, we'll take you to the tragic plane crash that claimed the Nebraska quarterback's life.
And a school bus full of high school students slams into a transit bus in New Jersey. Both stories in our newsreel next on the News at Noon. You're watching Newscenter 13 at noon. A promising Nebraska quarterback is dead, just a few days short of the NFL draft.
Brook Berringer's plane crash tops our newsreel this noon. Berringer was flying this 1941 Piper Cub when it went down in an alfalfa field near Lincoln. The crash happened shortly after takeoff. Berringer and a passenger were killed instantly. Berringer helped Nebraska win the '94 title.
The suspected Unabomber is in court today. Ted Kaczynski's lawyer is trying to get his client released. He says federal sources are leaking evidence in the case. Federal agents say that's ridiculous.
As many as 30 people were injured this morning after a school bus hit a New Jersey transit bus. Police say the school bus pulled out in front of the other bus at the intersection, and the impact took both into the side of this building. Time to take a look at your markets at midday now. The Iowa hog market, 50 higher, 200 to 240-pound butchers at the country, 49.50 to 50. At the plants, 50 to 51. No test for the major cattle terminals. Chicago grain futures market, another good day. July wheat is up 9.5. May corn up 1. July corn down 0.5. May beans down 3 1/4. July beans down 3 1/2, and May meal down $1.70. New York Stock Exchange at noon, the Dow 30 Industrials were up 6.50 at 5558.24. 205 million shares trading volume.
In today's AgCast, a new farm law may be hurting some already struggling farmers who depend on government financing. Many farmers have suddenly been denied loans because of the law. It bars the Ag Department from lending to producers who have had a federal farm loan forgiven or written off in the past. The USDA asked lawmakers to give farmers some grace period before cutting off loans, but Senate leaders refused to go along.
Well, if you're up for trying something new with chicken, listen up.
Mr. Food says, why not spice it up with some pepper? Get your pen and paper ready for this next recipe. It's coming up on Newscenter 13 at noon.
Today's Doppler 13 weather is brought to you by Menards, helping you build America's heartland.
Well, lots of clouds here, but no rain in Des Moines anyway.
Not yet, so we still have the possibility to pick up some rain, so we'll keep our fingers crossed here. I know most of central Iowa still is really very dry and needs the moisture, so we'll see later on today. But it is cloudy out there. Temperature is not too bad. 67 degrees right now, an east wind blowing at 13 miles per hour. Dew point only 37 degrees right now. We'll have to work some more moisture in here before we'll really see much in the way of rain showers. Let's check the satellite picture. You'll see the band of cloud cover across the entire state here, and it extends back out to the west as well. Over the last 24 hours, you can see that, well, if I can get this to go, there we go. There are the storms yesterday. That was the first storm system to come on through here, and now a second storm is working its way into the area across the Plain States, developing in Kansas. It's expected to strengthen as it pulls onto the north and east. Out ahead of this, well, that's the cloud cover we've got across the state right now, and even a few very light rain showers through the early morning hours here. Let's check out our Doppler 13 radar. We'll show you where some of those are right now. For the most part, moving into the extreme northern portions of the state, from about Spencer through Mason City, down through Waterloo, Cedar Rapids. If you look at the color code here, you're going to see that everything that is falling is extremely light, maybe just sprinkles for the most part, and these will continue to progress on to the northeast through the afternoon hours. All right, what's going to happen? That low starts lifting on to the north and east. Here it is by later on this afternoon and into this evening. It will continue to trek this way. As it does so, you're going to see a strong southerly wind in this area, eastern portions of Iowa into Illinois. Strong southerly wind will bring an increase in moisture. There's also some upper level support in this area. Shearing winds, a strong jet stream. And as this low moves on into all of that upper level support, thunderstorms will develop. There is a good possibility that again today we will see strong storms developing right along the Mississippi River Valley and then pushing on into Illinois and Indiana later on this afternoon. These are the areas we will watch for the best development of strong thunderstorms and even possibly some very good sized tornadoes as well. In eastern Iowa, the biggest threat is for strong gusty winds and also some hail, much like we had around here yesterday. Watch as this low pulls right on through here during the next 24 hours. Saturday should be a dry day, but temperatures will be cooler. Your forecast for today looks like this. Scattered showers and thunderstorms developing. Most numerous in eastern portions of the state, so some of central and western Iowa may not see much at all. 75 the high temperature. Tonight cloudy with a few showers lingering around. Tonight we'll actually see a good possibility for some wet weather. 45 for the overnight low. Then Saturday mostly cloudy, 64. Sunday partly cloudy and 59, and it looks like some dry weather as we start next week too, with temperatures right there in the 60s, which is where we should be for this time of year.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Thanks. Well, you've heard of pepper steak. It's pretty popular.
But what about pepper chicken? Mr. Food says try it. You just might like it.
One of the favorite ways they're offering steak in restaurants these days is the French au poivre style, which means with pepper or heavily peppered. Now, I know it sounds too hot, but hot is in right now. And besides, it comes out a lot milder when it's cooked. And if we want that same taste excitement at home using chicken, here's how easy. We pierce a whole cut-up chicken with a fork on all sides, and we rub it all over with a tablespoon of coarse ground pepper, sprinkle it with 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder. Now, we let it stand that way about a half hour in the refrigerator to let the seasoning soak in. And then in a skillet, in a tablespoon each of oil and butter, we brown the chicken pieces on all sides, drain the pan, then we pour in a 1/2 cup of chicken broth and 2 tablespoons of any white wine, or even non-alcoholic wine, or apple juice if you prefer. Now, we reduce the heat, we cover it, and we let it simmer. That means on a low heat, about 35-40 minutes, until the chicken is fork tender. And look what we've got. A popular Today restaurant treat without the Today restaurant price. And if you'd like the recipe, sure, just send a self-addressed stamped envelope marked peppered chicken to me, Mr. Food, right here at the station. And we'll get it back to you for a chicken dinner, hoo-hoo, fancy enough for company, but easy enough for a hurry-up busy day. Now, they may not be able to pronounce au poivre. They'll have no problem at all with the, ooh, it's so good.
Mr. Food is brought to you each day by Hy-Vee. If you would like any of this week's recipes, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Mr. Food, WHOTV, 1801 Grand Avenue, Des Moines, Iowa, 50309.
Our pets hold a very special place in our hearts. Coming up on Newscenter 13 at noon, Lori is talking with veterinarian Dr. Mark Schmidt. He'll explain what heartworm disease is and how you can help prevent it in your pet. Stay tuned.
Look at this little face. We're here with a couple of little puppies and Dr. Mark Schmidt to talk about heartworms. Isn't that right? It's something we need to talk about this time of year.
Yes, this is the time of year when mosquitoes start to come out, and mosquitoes are the insect that transmits heartworm disease. Any dog that can get bit by a mosquito can get the disease. Mm-hmm. So all dogs, unless they are inside all the time,
oh, goodness,
should be given some kind of a preventative medication. And prevention is by oral medication. It's a monthly tablet like these little guys here called Interceptor. There's another monthly one called HeartGuard. There's little stickers that come in the package to mark your calendar to remind you that it needs to be given on a monthly basis. Some of these not only prevent heartworms, they also prevent hookworms, roundworms, and whipworms as well. And those are excellent products, and they work very, very well. So
and dogs can die from heartworms, can't they?
It's a very serious disease. It actually is worms living in the hearts of dogs, and you can imagine the kinds of problems that it would cause.
Now, do we worry about heartworms for puppies this small?
Now, they're fairly resistant at this age, but at about 8 weeks or older, they can be started on their preventative, so they should be started as puppies.
Well, in the meantime, these little adorable talkative dogs are available out at the Animal Rescue League. You can go down there and make some friends. I think this one wants to tell you all about it.
Yeah, he wants to tell us all about it. Mommy was a golden retriever. There's a whole bunch of them out there, so anybody that's interested in a really nice puppy should get out there this afternoon.
Do you like him, Courtney?
I think they want to go outside and play. They're adorable. Meteorologist Kathy Ellis will have one more check on our afternoon forecast when Newscenter 13 at noon continues.
Okay, so I still smell like a puppy. That's all right.
Chance for a few showers or maybe even a couple of thunderstorms this afternoon. Strongest storms will be in the southeastern corner of the state. A high temperature of 75 today, and of course we'll be around here in the Doppler 13 Weather Center to keep you updated.
Okay, thanks, Kathy. And thank you for joining us today at noon.
Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.
else by Yonkers.